Live from the Dolby Theater on Hollywood and Highland, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome CEO Oculus, Brendan Iribe.
Wow. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Oculus Connect 2, our second annual developers conference. It's pretty amazing to see so many people here. This year, we have over 1,500 people here today, and thousands more viewing online, some of which are even watching in VR. We have a Next VR here, viewing in VR. We have over 30 talks here focused on all things virtual reality. And we have over 20 brand new VR experiences for you to try right here at the show. Later today, Michael Abrash will talk about VR research and the future. And John Carmack will give another one of his signature unscripted talks on the state of VR. We have a lot to share this morning. We're going to dive into the roadmaps for Gear VR, Rift, and Touch. We're going to show some incredible new games and experiences that are coming to the Oculus platform, some really great experiences. And we're going to take a look at some new innovations that are helping to shape VR. But before we begin, there's somebody I'd like to introduce. We've been part of Facebook for over a year now. It's enabled us to accelerate our roadmap and invest more into technology, games, film, entertainment, the entire ecosystem. It's supercharged everything. To say a few words about why he's so excited about virtual reality, please welcome Mark Zuckerberg.
Thanks, Brendan. And hey, everyone. A couple of years ago, I stopped by the Oculus offices and met with Palmer and Brendan and the whole crew. And they gave me a demo of the latest Rift. And I'd seen VR before, but this was by far the best experience I'd ever seen. It was like teleporting to some other place just by putting on a headset. And it was so good that I didn't really want to leave. Now, when they finally did make me leave, I realized that there was another reason why I was so excited about this. And it's because I was seeing the next great technology platform that's going to define the way that we all connect in the future. Facebook's mission is to make the world more open and connected. And we believe that the more power that people have to share and experience all kinds of different things in the world, the better the world will be. And over time, the way that we share and experience the world is changing. As time goes on, we're getting tools to share and experience richer and more immersive types of media and content. If you go back 5 or 10 years, most of what we shared and consumed and experienced online was just text. Today, most of what we experience is visual, right? There are all these great photos that we can see. And right now, we're entering a golden age of video and animation, where most of what people share and consume and experience is moving and animated, and there's even more immersive content like games that have become an important way for people to express their creativity as well. But this isn't the end of the line. There is always a richer and a more immersive medium to experience the world. And after video, the next logical step is fully immersive virtual reality, where you'll be able to create and experience full scenes and feel like you're right there in them, like this. Now, that's just a 360 video. In the future, you're going to be able to feel like you're right there in the scene. And that's how VR fits into our mission. VR is the next platform where anyone can create and experience anything. And that's why I'm so excited about the future of Oculus. When I first tried Oculus, I thought, OK, now VR is ready. Now, of course, it wasn't actually ready. After about 2 years, we're still pushing the boundaries, and only now are we ready to ship the first consumer products. But in just a few years, VR has gone from being this science fiction dream to an awesome reality. And now we all here have a chance to change the way that we all play, communicate, and collaborate. So that's why I'm so excited to be here with all of you guys today. All of you are inventing the next major platform. Now, this is going to grow slowly. If you think about the arrival of computers or smartphones, the first unit shipped did not ship tens of millions in the first year. But they proved an idea and made it real. And eventually, these platforms, for developers and creators, became major platforms for people to share their creativity with the entire world and to build a different and better world. Facebook is committed to this for the long term. We're going to work hard to serve this community. I want to thank you guys for all being a part of this journey, and we can't wait to see what you're going to build. So thank you, and now back to Brendan.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Mark. VR is finally here. Thousands of sci-fi stories, decades of dreaming, all leading up to this. Over the next 12 months, millions of people around the world are going to experience VR for the very first time. They're going to feel that true sense of presence, the feeling of actually being there, being in the virtual world. They'll experience that moment when the line between the real world and the virtual world just melts away. VR changes everything. That's why we're all here. And this is an incredible moment in history. It reminds me of a moment that many of you may remember. I'm going to date myself a little bit here. The dawn of 3D graphics and online gaming. I can still remember being a kid and loading up multiplayer Doom for the very first time. We set up this crazy rig of computers on a pool table and networked them together with a circular link. And I remember when we turned it on, one by one, we each turned it on, and we agreed to meet at the center of the map. And as we headed towards that center, you could see this set of pixels kind of coming at you. And one by one, each of us said, "Yep, I see you. Yep, I see you." And then I leaned over to look at my friend's monitor, and I pressed the left and right keys to strafe, and I could see my character moving side to side. Right then, we knew 3D graphics and networking was going to change everything. That moment changed my life forever. That's why I'm here. For me, VR feels like it's going to be even bigger. And I think many of you are here because you feel the same way. This is a once-in-a-generation moment where we can create something that inspires millions of people, something they've never seen before, something that changes their lives forever. This is where it all begins. This is the dawn of VR. This is the time when the fundamentals are established, the new technology, the breakthroughs, the mechanics, some of the new forms of experiences, some of which may last for decades. It starts small, but year over year, VR will build into something incredible. We want to enable people to experience anything, anywhere, with anyone. That's our mission. So let's take a look at how we're going to start changing the world together. First up is Oculus Mobile. This is an important part of our effort to put virtual reality in the hands of millions, to get it into everybody's hand. It's going to bring VR to new and different audiences. There's over 2 billion smartphones in the world, and it's growing. That's a lot of smartphones. And with mobile VR, you only need a great portable VR device and a smartphone. It's that simple. So we've been working really closely with Samsung for over 2 years now to create the best portable VR device on the planet. Nothing comes close. And today, we have a special announcement that we'd like to share with you first. To tell you more, please welcome Peter Koo, SVP at Samsung Mobile.
Thank you, Brendan. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. At Samsung, we are helping our customers stay ahead of the game, and we are all about relentless innovation. The purpose has expressed itself in groundbreaking products and services in every kind. Just a few weeks ago, in fact, we introduced two big new choices to the smartphone market: our Galaxy Note 5 and Galaxy S6 Edge Plus, which build on our legacy as the inventor of big screen phones and dual-edge display. Our connected wearable, Gear S2, is taking the world by storm. So when it comes to VR, the next frontier in entertainment, content, and services, it should be no surprise that Samsung is betting big, and that's betting big on all of you. Late last year, Oculus and Samsung joined forces to launch our Gear VR Innovator Edition. We designed it for the enthusiasts and developers so the VR community could help it live up to its promise. You see, the Innovator Edition wasn't about the hardware. It was about enabling you to push the boundaries of the possibilities in VR. And we have been amazed and flattered by the response. The Gear VR is widely recognized as the best mobile device, period. People are sharing 360-degree content, teleporting around the globe inside the photos and videos, and playing immersive VR games with friends. So Gear VR changed the way how mobile game is played. This early success is a testament to the partnership between Samsung and Oculus and the hard work of many of you here today. At Samsung, we aspire to build the best consumer electronic devices. And together with the world-class companies like Oculus, we are creating a whole new universe of possibilities in virtual reality. Virtual reality on the go, powered by a device that's already in your pocket, the Samsung Galaxy smartphones. And now, for what you all been waiting for, today, together, Samsung and Oculus are excited to share with you an all-new Gear VR, the device that will help take mobile-powered virtual reality mainstream. And that is the virtual reality for everyone. Take a look. That's amazing. So let me tell you a little bit about the product. First, we've redesigned the Gear VR to work with Samsung's entire 2015 line of flagship smartphones. Yeah, this is great, isn't it? The Galaxy Note 5, Edge Plus, Galaxy S6, and S6 Edge. Great line of products. And second, we made the headset 22% lighter and much more comfortable to wear. I think that's what you've been asking for. This is very exciting as well. We also made improvement to the touchpad and overall feel. Third, the Gear VR will come with an access to expanding universe of premium contents, games, and videos. So this is also very exciting for me as well. And finally, the price. $99. Yes. We wanted to make it affordable for everyone to join mobile VR movement. So when it will hit the store, in the United States, the VR will be available in time for Black Friday and all around the world just shortly after. There's so much to be excited about. Together, we've given demonstrations to tens of thousands of people, their first taste of VR. They put on the headset and refuse to take it off. And we know it's posed for continued success. And so, from all of us at Samsung, thank you. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your creativity and innovation. We are proud to be traveling this journey with you. Together, we are making virtual reality a true reality. And I can't wait to see what you all create next. Thank you. Brendan?
Thanks, Peter. Gear VR is going to be awesome. You're going to be able to take virtual reality with you, toss it in your bag, take it out, hand it to your friends, pass it around. It really is Gear VR, mobile virtual reality on the go. So what is virtual reality? What is Gear VR without your incredible content? It's you guys that are making the experiences. They're going to light this up. They're going to make it an incredible product. Now let's take a look at what you're building for Gear VR. To do that, please welcome Max Cohen, head of Oculus Mobile.
Hey everyone. I was talking to a friend last night, and we commented on how cool it was there's 1,500 people here who already love VR. I don't have to get up here and sell you on the dream, but you also know how difficult it is. And it's our job at Oculus to make that as easy as possible. Over the past 10 months, we've released 10 Oculus Mobile SDKs, and they're really founded on 5 core principles. We want to give you as much performance buffer as you can get so that your apps run well on mobile phones. Latency is critically important. You got to keep it sub 20 milliseconds, which means that even small head movements cause things to show up in the right place at the right time on the screen. Your apps need to run without Android interference. You want your text, your images, and your videos to render as clearly as possible. And of course, you need to be able to use the leading mobile game engines, like Unity and Unreal. For the past few months, we've been focused on making the mobile SDK as stable, reliable, and performant as possible. To that end, we're releasing 1.0 in November. And this is so that you can make the great content. But before we talk about the future of VR gaming, let's take a quick trip to the past. That very professional soundbite was recorded 2 nights ago at 2 a.m., by the way. So does anyone here recognize what this high score is? Anyone? This is the perfect, that's right, it's perfect score in Pac-Man. I never got close, but if you ate all the cherries, all the bananas, ate all the ghosts, then you would reach this ultimate achievement. Well, we've talked about those classic games, and we thought they were simple, they were addicting, they were a lot of fun, and we wanted to bring that kind of feeling into VR today. So I'm really pleased to announce Oculus Arcade. We partnered with the leading brands like Sega, Warner Brothers Midway, and Bandai Namco to bring you some of your favorites, like Sonic the Hedgehog, Gauntlet, Spy Hunter, and of course, Pac-Man. You're going to be able to play all these games and more on Gear VR at launch, but you can actually try them at the show here today. It's just one of the many things that we're going to be highlighting. But the groundbreaking content that's up on the screen behind me, this is stuff that you guys have delivered. And it might sound grandiose to say this, but it really is true. The developers here are the pioneers who are figuring out the new game mechanics for the VR era. I'm really pleased to talk about a few of the games that are coming up. We're going to have dozens of new made-for-VR games in the upcoming months. You're going to have things like Land's End by Us 2, the makers of Monument Valley. Wait till you hop in here. This world is beautiful. It's serene, it's impressive, and you're going to get to solve some puzzles without it taking too much away from the exploration. It's pretty expensive to get up into space, so we'll take you there with Eve Gunjack by CCP Games, and you can blow stuff up. And you'll get to break things, lots of things, with Smash Hit by Mediocre. We've got a wide variety of stuff. So why don't we take a peek at what else is coming? I feel like I should have walked out to that music. I got to talk to someone about that. Those are just a handful of the incredible games that are going to be coming out. But ask anyone who has a Gear VR, and they'll tell you that it's not just about the games. People love video. Whether you like watching 2D, 3D, 360, or even 360 3D video, on the Gear VR, it's really an incredible experience. So we've taken Oculus Cinema, and we've broadened its capabilities. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Oculus Video. We've been working with major movie studios to bring their content so you can buy and rent top films. We partnered with 20th Century Fox, who will bring you movies like the Alien trilogy and X-Men. And Lionsgate is going to offer awesome movies like The Hunger Games and Pulp Fiction. Yesterday, Facebook's launched 360 videos in Newsfeed, and you saw a little taste of that earlier when Mark showed off Star Wars. The great thing about this is the many billions of users on Facebook are going to be uploading content, and this ecosystem is going to grow really fast. You're going to be able to access all this right here in Gear VR. You'll be able to swim with sharks from the safety of your couch, or you can be on the court with LeBron James and striving for greatness as he prepares for his 13th season. But that's just on the recorded video side. We're actually live streaming this today, right from that camera right there. And when you think about live streaming video games, one thing comes to mind: Twitch. You'll be able to watch your favorite streams like Rocket League right in Oculus Video. And the best part is, you're not going to do this by yourself. You'll have the chat from all the other Twitch users, but you'll also have avatars of your friends in the room with you. You'll be able to talk with them. It'll be a social experience. You can actually try this right here at the show today after the keynotes. And that's just the beginning of all the great content that's coming to Oculus Video. We've got other video partners outside of the app as well. When we hand people Gear VR, one of the first things they ask us is, does it have Netflix? Well, as of today, the answer is yes. So it would be awesome to tell you that Netflix is coming next year, or even in a few months, but actually, you can download it in about 20 minutes. It's going to be on the store today. You're going to get access to their award-winning catalog of original series, documentaries, and top films. We've got some other amazing partners coming as well. Vimeo, TiVo, Hulu, all of them will be bringing their library of content to you over the next few months. And we have a bunch more planned for Gear VR, but what I want to really dig in on is the fact that it's your games, your apps, and your experiences that are going to make this such an amazing product and give birth to an entirely new industry. We want to encourage all of you to build for Oculus Mobile. What's the best way to do that? Ask you very nicely. And give you free stuff. So everyone here is going to get a Gear VR Innovator Edition and a gamepad. stuff. In the afternoon, when all the keynotes are done, you'll be able to go to registration and bring your badge and pick up your hardware. So that's the start of what's coming over the next few months. But what I'd like to do now is turn it over to Nate Mitchell to tell you about Rift.
Good morning, guys. Let's talk about the Oculus Rift. The Rift is shipping in Q1 next year, and we've designed it to be the best VR platform for next-generation gaming and comfortable, sustained presence. That feeling like you've truly been transported someplace else. This morning, we're going to go over some of the architecture decisions behind Rift, decisions that we've made to make it a great platform for developers. Then, we're going to look at some of the incredible games and experiences that this community is bringing to Rift next year. Let's start with the hardware. We went over the details of the headset and sensor at E3. And we decided to make the Xbox One controller the primary input device for Rift. It's actually included in the box, and that's super important to keep in mind. That controller ensures that as developers, you always have a great input target that you can rely on users having. And if you're designing a game around traditional inputs, like Eve Valkyrie, Lucky's Tale, or Edge of Nowhere, the controller's a great option. It's versatile, it's ergonomic. It's also great for reaching the widest audience with your games and content. Of course, if you're designing around hand presence and natural hand interaction, you'll want to target touch. Now, let's move from the hardware to the PC powering that experience. We decided to choose a recommended spec for Rift, and there were a few driving architecture considerations behind that decision. First, our goal with the recommended spec is that everything just works. All the games and apps that you guys build should deliver a great experience on this spec. It also simplifies the development process. When you're optimizing for a single target, it's super helpful, especially when you're aiming for 90 hertz and sustained presence. It also helps new users know what to buy, making it easier for more people to step into the Rift. As far as the actual configuration goes, we selected hardware components that IHVs are actively supporting. That way, they can ship driver updates to help us make VR better. We also picked a reasonably powerful GPU class with the GTX 970 and R9 290, and there were three key factors behind this decision. We wanted enough performance to meet the demands of VR rendering. We needed a reasonable price, especially for market adoption, and enough horsepower to give you guys everything you need to build experiences that deliver on the dream of VR. So let's talk about our strategy for driving this spec's adoption. We're working with our technology partners, NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel, to advance the state of PC hardware for VR. And today, we're announcing the Oculus Ready PC program. The Oculus Ready PC program is designed to make it easy to buy a great PC for Rift. When you see this logo, you know that this machine meets the recommended spec, and it's been tested to ensure it delivers a great experience with Rift. Early next year, our partners, Asus, Dell, and Alienware, are going to be offering brand new Oculus Ready configurations starting at a variety of price points under $1,000. All of these machines are going to feature NVIDIA and Intel hardware, and there's going to be a variety of options that you can actually bundle with your Rift purchase. And this is just the beginning for the Oculus Ready program. We're going to have more partners to announce in the coming year. Which brings us to the Rift SDK. On Rift, our architecture decisions are guided more than anything else by two key things: comfort and quality of experience. Not only do we believe that's key to the success of Rift, we believe it's key to the success of VR in general. And this drives decisions throughout the Rift stack. For example, we only ship new rendering optimizations when we're absolutely certain that they don't impact comfort. We just released 0.7 of the Rift SDK. 0.7 included foundational work for Windows 10 and Oculus Touch. It also introduced direct driver mode. And for those of you that lived through the dark ages that were extended mode with us, you'll be happy to hear that direct driver mode is a huge step forward in terms of quality of experience.
It increases reliability of the system and allows us to drive the Rift at ultra-low latency. This was the direct result of continued close collaboration with AMD and NVIDIA. We have a lot more planned for the SDK in the run-up to the Rift's launch. We're going to be shipping version 1.0 in December. When your games are built with 1.0, they'll be ready for release on Rift day one. They'll also be compatible with future versions of the Rift runtime. There are now hundreds of games and experiences being developed for Rift, and we recently crossed the 200,000 registered developer mark on the Oculus Developer Center. That's pretty incredible. We have been so impressed with so many of the games that you guys are bringing to Rift next year. Take a look at this. That's just a few of the incredible games coming to Rift next year. Games like Battlezone, Rebellion's multiplayer reimagining of the original immersive arcade classic. Vox Machinae, the awesome mech combat game developed by Space Bullet Dynamics Corporation. And Gang Beasts, the award-winning party brawler developed by Bone Loaf. These games are among many others that are going to be shipping on Rift next year. So, that's a look at how this community is redefining VR gaming on Rift. But Rift enables so much more than just games. VR unlocks a new form of storytelling, letting the audience step inside the story for the very first time. And we've already seen astounding work from many of the developers in this room this morning. And that work is starting to get noticed. VR won its first Emmy last month. It's going to be an inspiring moment when VR wins its first Oscar here on this very stage. The Story Studio team at Oculus is dedicated to exploring this particular space where storytelling meets VR. Their first short film, Lost, debuted at Sundance earlier this year. Their second short is Henry. Henry's the story of a lovable hedgehog on his birthday. The film's rendered in real time in Unreal Engine 4, and we think it offers a glimpse into the future of movies and immersive cinema. A future where you connect with the story on a deeper level than ever before, where those characters and worlds actually feel alive. For those of you that haven't had a chance to meet Henry, we invite you to meet him here at the show. But we thought it'd be fun to go one step further. Today, this morning on Oculus Share actually, we're going to be releasing a short VR trailer for Henry to everyone at home with the DK2. More, we're going to be making everything you need to rebuild the Henry trailer in Unreal Engine 4 available for download. You can tear open the project. You can tear open the project for yourself and learn from our successes and mistakes. Here at Connect, the Story Studio team is actually giving a behind-the-scenes look at their development process, including many of the rendering techniques and tools that they use to bring Henry to life. I encourage you guys to check it out later today. It's awesome. So, that's Rift, and how we've architected it to enable next-generation VR gaming and comfortable, sustained presence. This time next year, Rift is going to be in the hands of people everywhere. And from someone who's been a gamer my whole life, I can't wait to see what you guys build next. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce my friend, the one and only, Palmer Luckey.
Ooh, a lot of people. Back in 2010, when I was still in college, during the short time I spent in college, I spent a lot of time playing video games. I blew off a lot of homework playing online games with my friends, like Minecraft. And that experience of playing in these virtual worlds really got me thinking for the first time seriously about what a metaverse would look like. This has been a staple of science fiction for decades, this concept of a metaverse, a digital world that can exist parallel to our own, where millions of people can live, work, play, do anything not bound by the laws of the physical world. And while I had accepted that kind of as a sci-fi reality years earlier as a science fiction fan, I realized as I was playing these games that really, we were really close. I mean, we already had a lot of the components we didn't have decades before. We had low latency networking. We had the ability to control avatars, to voice chat, to emote, to build things inside of this virtual world, whether they're constructions, contraptions, or just hanging out, doing nothing and talking to each other, or ruining other people's things. And, that's really guided a lot of what we've thought about at Oculus, about what it means to build online virtual worlds. And back in 2010 again, the Rift was nothing but a rough prototype, nowhere close to what we have today. And so the virtual reality hardware side of things took a long time to catch up. But I've known since that kind of period of my life that virtual worlds weren't decades away. They were coming in just a few years. I'm not up here on stage to tell you that we've created the perfect metaverse or that we have anything that is even close to what we all eventually want. But what I can tell you hang on, is that Minecraft is coming to Oculus. I can't wait to start playing with all you guys next year. Unfortunately, Lydia Winters from Mojang couldn't make it here today, but she was able to make it onto this giant screen above me.
Hello, Hollywood. I wish I could be there to talk to you in person, but I'm still excited to speak to you remotely from Stockholm, Sweden. Today, we're happy to announce that Minecraft Windows 10 Edition will support Oculus Rift and will be available for purchase in both the Windows Store and the Oculus Store this spring. The Oculus VR headset will immerse you in a virtual reality Minecraft world, where as always, you'll be able to play in creative or survival mode, but in full 3D. We can't wait for the community to experience Oculus Rift with Minecraft Windows 10 Edition this spring, and we'll share more details soon.
Who wants some free Minecraft swag? Don't die! My work here is done. I would like to introduce Anna Sweet to the stage to talk about everything that we're doing with the Oculus platform.
Good morning, everyone. One of our goals for the coming year is to make you, our developers, as successful as possible. Here's one of the ways we do that. We meet with developers around the world, we try their latest projects, and we ask them, what do you need to build great VR experiences? Developers tell us 3 things consistently, all of which we've incorporated into the new Oculus platform. They want social features to connect players, a full suite of game and app services, and a commerce solution to sell those games. We have a lot of that now, and more pieces will be rolling out in the coming months. All of it is designed from the ground up for VR, for both Rift and the Gear VR platform. First, we'll be adding more robust features around user profiles. This allows users to personalize their Oculus accounts. And as a game developer, you'll be able to customize information in your own games by utilizing things like Oculus IDs and avatar pictures. Second, we're working on bringing people together in VR, both through multiplayer gaming and countless other types of social experiences. The Oculus platform will have its own robust friends graph, which will allow developers to connect players around the world in ways that are meaningful. To enable these connections, we've added lobbies, or what we call rooms. Rooms allow you to connect a group of people before they head off into a social experience. To make this even easier, we also have peer-to-peer networking and matchmaking services. This helps you connect players around the world without having to worry about the technicalities. We're also working on services including cloud saves, achievements, leaderboards, and in-app purchases. But what's probably most important to you is getting your creations to gamers. So we've built a store for that. The store is designed to be used in VR and is also accessible on PC and mobile screens. We have a publishing team that's there. They'll help you get your games ready. Whatever questions you have, they're there to answer them. We can't wait to see what you build. Now, we know there are times when you want to get your content in front of customers early in the development cycle. From the very beginning at Oculus, we knew this was important to you. So we made a website service called Share. Share was designed to let developers discover, download, and post content as they created some of VR's earliest games and experiences. And so far, we've seen millions of downloads of that content. That's pretty incredible for a developer-to-developer service. And in fact, some of these early Share titles have already gone on to ship full games on the Oculus Store. With the Oculus Store, the spirit of Share will live on in the new Concepts section. Concepts will allow developers to distribute content in the early stages of development with the broader Oculus community. This will allow them to get real, meaningful feedback that can help shape the final product. Concepts will launch first on Gear VR and next year on the Rift. We're looking forward to seeing what you build, create, and share on the new Oculus platform coming this year. And now, let's take a look at Oculus Touch.
The first thing you need to make VR work is vision. If you can trick it, you can trick the rest of your brain and body reasonably well. But touch, that's something we do every day without even thinking about it. And when it's missing in virtual reality, it's one of the first things that you want.
One of the main design goals for Touch was that it give you hand presence, the feeling that your virtual hands are really your real hands, that they're there with you.
We made hundreds of prototypes, refining on ergonomics, the types of inputs we had, the type of tracking that we had. And a lot of the assumptions you make at the beginning of the process don't necessarily pan out.
With Touch, what we had to do was make a solution where it doesn't feel like there's anything there, but when you do natural gestures, those things show up in virtual reality.
You need to track its position in 3D space. You need to perfectly track its orientation. And you need to do all those things with very low latency.
Some of the decisions that we made with Touch, we weren't sure if they were going to work. And 300 prototypes later, many did not. It takes a while to find that right magic where you pick up the device and you pull a trigger and you're like, that's it. And getting there and really finding the way to make it work, it's pretty incredible.
When we first got constellation tracking fully integrated and working, that just magic of one-to-one, your hand is interacting in the environment was an absolute breakthrough.
So with hand presence, there's a real social element that comes in. And it's one thing to see somebody's head kind of move around. It's another thing when they can actually wave at you. The other person comes alive.
It just feels like that person is there. It feels like you are talking to a person that is standing right in front of you.
What's next a lot of what's going to matter is actually what comes out of it. What have we enabled? And we're just scratching the surface there on the experience side.
I'm really most excited about shipping this thing once we get hundreds of thousands of these things out into the world and developers are using them every day, and that we really see what we're capable of doing in VR.
I think this is the golden age for VR, where a lot of people are going to make experiences that are just remembered. The first example of something that no one had seen before.
So Touch is shipping in the second quarter next year. And as Ottman said, Touch is designed around delivering hand presence, the feeling that your virtual hands are actually your own. In real life, our hands are essential for everything. We use them to interact with the world, express ourselves, connect with other people. And with Touch, you bring your hands with you into VR. And that unlocks all sorts of new experiences. This is the Toy Box demo we built in Unreal. It was originally developed by the Touch team as a way to prototype new hardware features and drive to the product development process. The goal of Toy Box was to let people play inside of VR using their hands. And when we started to feel the magic, we knew those early Touch prototypes were heading in the right direction. You can poke at things, you can stack blocks, you can use slingshots with two hands, you can play ping pong, or you can have complete mayhem and shoot each other with laser guns. This is just scratching the surface. There's so much more that is going to be unlocked when you get access to this. You have to try it for yourself to really understand just how natural and intuitive these kinds of interactions can be. Toybox also demonstrates the power of social VR. These two people could be hundreds of miles apart, but they feel like they're actually right there in the same space. They truly feel like they're together. Both players are represented by relatively simple avatars. But with the nuances of human expression that are captured by touch and the power of VR, these avatars become real. It's enough to trick our brains into believing that that virtual avatar in front of you is a real person. You know it if you've experienced this. It really is amazing. With touch, it's easy to just wave at someone or point at something, to pick up a virtual object and hand it to someone on the other side of the world. That's something we've never experienced before. And it feels like a tiny bit of magic. It's going to be a big part of VR. The social experience is going to be very, very powerful. It actually has the potential to be more social than any other platform we've seen yet. And for many of us, Toybox is this first glimpse. It's the first taste of that. So in the coming year, you're going to have a chance to build with touch yourself. You're going to have a chance to build incredible, groundbreaking experiences. And those experiences will change the way that we think of gaming and VR forever. Ahead of launch, we're making early touch hardware available to developers. And yes, touch is going to include a second Rift sensor. This expands the tracking volume to give you more space to play and interact. So let's dive into the Touch SDK. It's going to ship alongside of the developer hardware and include all the APIs that you need for detecting the controller position, for recognizing the hand poses, driving the haptics. We're also going to include the Toybox avatar hands. This is going to make it really easy for you to integrate touch into your own content. And these are going to be fully integrated in Unreal and Unity. Again, this makes it really easy to achieve touch-based interactions, communication, and hand presence into your own games and apps. So now let's look at a few of the incredible new touch games that are coming next year. And we have 10 new touch demos for you to try here at Connect that were developed by some of the people in this audience. These demonstrate something new, something a little magical, and you really have to see them for yourself. I hope you get a chance to try them today. These and many more will all be shipping next year. Now, we've developed another touch experience, something a little different. This is an art tool that allows you to sculpt incredible shapes called Oculus Medium. With Medium, you can build virtual objects right in front of you. You can create these beautiful works of art in the virtual world. It really opens up an entire new medium. Let's take a look.
Medium is Oculus's creation platform. It's digital clay, and we're building it for anyone.
I'm not a virtual guy. I just love reality. I mean, as a sculptor, it's all about being real.
I didn't know what to expect. I've never seen anything like it before.
Yeah, I'm 100% analog. In fact, I don't even have Wi-Fi in my studio.
At first, I thought this isn't going to be real. I was thinking very flat. And all of a sudden, when I realized I could reach my hand around and cut shapes and twist shapes, I got very excited.
Pull the trigger under your index finger. That's how you add clay.
Ah, I see.
Got it.
I suddenly realized that the traditional 3D program, it's like working with one hand tied behind your back. With the Rift, I can rotate it as I sculpt it, the way you would clay on a potter's wheel.
When I was using Medium, I was thinking about something in my head, and before even thinking about what it was, I just put it out there.
I was super excited. The experience itself is truly incredible. In fact, I don't know how it would get much better.
It's unlike any other tool that I've used before. There's not a real secret to starting it. It's just having fun with it.
For lack of a better word, it's a psychedelic experience.
It's a tool that I feel like I could use right now.
It's really real, and it's really fun.
So every great platform has to have a Paint app. And this is going to be our Paint app. We're thrilled for you to try Medium and see the possibilities for yourself. In fact, we have Medium for you to try here at Connect. And along with the other touch experiences, Medium will be shipping with touch next year. We continue to work really closely with Epic and Unity to ensure that their tech is optimized for world-class VR development. We also do a great job supporting Crytek and Stingray and some of the other engines. So almost all the touch demos here today are built with either the Unreal Engine or Unity. And I can still remember being a kid and being captivated by the original Unreal Engine. Again, I'm dating myself a little bit here, but way back when it ran on the very first 3DFX graphics card. Many of you might remember that. It was a groundbreaking moment for 3D graphics. You jump ahead nearly 20 years, and it looks a little bit better. And it's one of the most important technologies in 3D gaming and virtual reality. The founder of Epic, Tim Sweeney, has always been a hero of mine. He's a true inspiration to this entire industry. So now I'm excited to announce that Tim Sweeney is here today to share more about his vision for virtual reality. Please welcome the legendary Tim Sweeney.
Thanks, Brendan. Thank you. You know, Epic and Oculus have been working together since the very beginning. When Palmer Luckey teamed up with John Carmack and Brendan Iribe, it was pretty clear that this was going to be something huge. And the Oculus team has succeeded in creating a revolution. Now, the most exciting thing about the VR revolution is that it's open to all developers. You know, earlier this year, we made Unreal Engine 4 available to everybody for free. And since then, we've had over 1 million developers choose Unreal. 1 million developers. And they're building some amazing VR experiences. Now, the opportunities now for VR developers are really unprecedented. In gaming, We're seeing the invention of new genres, taking advantage of the possibilities for immersion and emotion that simply didn't exist before. Here in Hollywood, filmmakers are recognizing the potential of this new medium as a means of storytelling, and they're creating entirely new types of experiences that really transcend the limits of traditional linear media. And we're about to see the wholesale reinvention of our entire foundation of applications and websites around the capabilities of VR and real presence. And the implications there for social networking, for commerce, for fields like industrial design and architecture are really without precedent. It's really an exciting time. And leading this revolution here, I see 3 generations of developers in the audience. They're the new folks who are just getting their start now with VR, together with the indie generation, who was really forged during the mobile revolution, and then has faced serious challenges during the growth of the market as it's become extremely crowded and difficult. And then there are the grizzled old veterans of the early PC and console days, such as myself. Here at Oculus Connect, we're all really united together in our common belief in the future of VR as a platform. Everything that's happened before, I really feel all of our successes and all of our failures has really been a starting point so that we could do these things we're doing now today. It's a great time for the industry, and I'm seeing really an enormous amount of potential going forward. So I wanted to talk a little bit, I wanted to talk a little bit about how all of this is coming together. The scale of the hardware is really going to lead to a new sort of race to reality, where over the next decade, I think we'll see advances in GPU technology, in display technology, sensors, and software such as engines, which really lead us to the point of being indistinguishable from reality. And it's the people in this room that will make that revolution happen. And it's an incredibly exciting time for the industry. Now, for the supporting role that we at Epic play here, we're the creators of a game engine. We're sort of like the makers of a paintbrush that artists such as yourselves use to create your masterpiece. And to guide our engine creation process, we create demos to explore the possibilities of new generations of hardware. At past events, you might have seen the Couch Nights demo or the Showdown demo. Well, here at Oculus Connect 2, we've created an entirely new experience. An experience that uses the Oculus Touch controller for locomotion in order to deliver a world-scale VR experience. Introducing Bullet Train.
Initializing simulation. We are now pulling into the rail station. Be alert. The enemy will be waiting for you. Freeze! Grab and throw bullets.
Wow. Thanks, Tim. Bullet Train is amazing. It's one of the most inspiring, incredible experiences I've ever tried in VR. And we have it for you here at Connect to try. Now, in Bullet Train, they created some new mechanics that were really pretty amazing. In the beginning, when we started Oculus, we put on the headset and we took a gamepad and we moved the joystick forward in a virtual world, and suddenly it wasn't quite as comfortable as we were hoping it was going to be, especially for folks like me. And so we didn't know, were we going to be able to traverse worlds, or were we going to be kind of stuck in a stationary position? People have given you a little more space to move around, and with the extra Rift sensor, you can kind of move around. But Epic took it a step further. They added this teleportation element, this new mechanic, which allowed you to, with the touch controller, just point to where you want to go. You point and you teleport. And it's an amazing experience. Suddenly, as Tim said, it opens up world-scale VR. And it is awesome. The first time I tried it, I suddenly wanted to traverse and navigate all around the world. I was ready to go up the escalators and go out of the train station, and you'll have to see it for yourself. But it's amazing, and we are going to be exploring these worlds. Bullet Train also enables or highlights an experience that we've been dreaming about for a long time, bullet time. It is awesome. In Bullet Train, you can slow down time with the touch controller, with the hand button. You can slow down time, and as the bullets get closer to you, you can grab them out of the air and throw them back at the enemy. It's awesome. You got to try it. So we have a huge year ahead. This is going to be incredible. Whoops. We don't need to see Bullet Train again. We have a huge year ahead. Gear VR is going to bring virtual reality to millions of people. Rift is going to enable true presence. And touch is going to redefine the way that we interact in VR. All the games, apps, and experiences that you're working on have the potential to change the world. And this is just the beginning. Everyone in this room is helping to define the next platform, the next leap forward. I can't wait to see what we achieve together.